Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, is there anything we don't know about Oprah Winfrey? Well, we're going to find out because we have details on a big project that she's working on. Then, Hollywood is rebooting everything, so why not reboot Desperate Housewives? Is it really happening? And what is one of the show's biggest stars saying about the rumors? And the cooking mom is back. Today, she's helping you spice up those at-home date nights with some great recipes. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Happy Friday, everybody. Let's make it a good day. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Jason Show. I'm the aforementioned Jace. Thank you so much for being here. And right now, put your hands together on your couch or at your kitchen table and greet my sister from another mister, the one and only Kendall Mark, everyone. Good morning, my lovely.
Good morning.
I gave you a compliment off air. I shall now present that compliment on air. I love that combo. You look sensational.
Why, thank you. You just like that I match the set.
No, you look, that is a great color combo for you.
Thanks.
You look,
Thanks,
well, I
Jason.
always think you look beautiful.
Thank you.
I think you're fantastic.
Fantastic human being inside and out.
That's right. You know who else is fantastic? Our audience today. Please give it up for Jared, Renee, and Valvina. Valvina, am I pronouncing your name right, my love?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Do people call you Val, or do you prefer Valvina, the whole name?
You could call me a Val for short.
Okay, I love the Val. Val's one of my favorite names because it's one of my favorite characters from my show Knots Landing. So anyway, Val, where are you zooming in from?
Woodbury.
Woodbury. Oh, you guys have great shopping there. I just love, and your city is easy to navigate. Everything is like, there's the Olive Garden, there's the Home Goods, everything is right in one little area, and I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome. Val designed it. She's a city planner. I love it.
What do you want me to say?
That's right. Renee, where are you coming in from?
I'm coming in from Excelsior.
Oh, well, I mean, come on. That's one of the best. Excelsior is just gorgeous.
So
you know,
cute.
again, one of those great small towns. You can just walk around. There's an ice cream shop. I love Excelsior. And finally, give it up for Jared. Good morning, Jared.
Morning.
Buddy, where are you coming in from?
Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. Well, representing the Minneapolis.
Represent.
What part of the Mini?
I'm in Southeast.
Perfect. Beautiful Southeast. We have a good collection today. We'll be checking in with our audience throughout the show. In the meantime, it is Friday, Kendall. We made it.
Oh my goodness, I thought you'd never say it.
I know. Am I alone? Has this not been a long week?
It has.
It has. It's been a week.
It
It's been a
has.
week.
It's been, let's see, 10 months. It's been 10 months.
It's been a long time. But it's been a week, and I'm going to be glad to say it, get it over with. But may I tell you a quick story? So
Please.
over on the radio show, we do this segment called Forced Movie Reviews, where the four of us have to watch movies in a genre we hate. I hate action movies, so Alexis makes me watch action movies. Well, we turned the franchise a little bit, so what we're doing is we are now watching movies that are classics. Movies on AFI's 100 list. You know, movies that everyone goes, oh, it's like Casablanca. It's like Gone with the Wind. Well, we started with Citizen Kane, which by the way, the number one movie on AFI's list of the greatest American movies. We started with that. I watched it last night.
And?
I'll never watch it again. I will never watch it again. I can appreciate the film for what it did for movies. Orson Welles, advanced filmmaking. But is it entertaining? Did I love it? No. I'll never watch it again. And the whole Rosebud, because it's basically a mystery. At the beginning of the movie, Orson Welles is dying and he goes, Rosebud. And he drops a snow globe. And then the whole rest of the darn movie, you're like, what the heck is Rosebud? And then at the very end, now I wasn't allowed to talk about this on the radio show. Dawn McLean, my producer, she goes, no, don't talk about it. And I said, Dawn, it's an 80-year-old movie.
Right.
Are we really giving spoiler alerts for 80-year-old movies? But anyway, Dawn really loves this movie, so I respected her. But on this show, I'm just going to say, it's a sled? The whole movie? It's about a sled? At the end of the movie, spoiler alert, 80-year-old movie, but anyway, at the end of the movie, they're burning some things, and then there's a sled, and it says Rosebud on it. And I'm thinking, this whole thing was about a sled?
This is what
But
I waited for?
And it's really not. I'm being goofy. It's really, I think it represents something else. But people, they never really reveal what it is. What is Rosebud? What does it mean?
I know. I had to watch, so I took an American history class about old movies and how they affected cinematography going forward. And we watched Citizen Kane, and I have to admit, I also fell asleep within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I never even finished it. I had to write a paper, so I just kind of like Googled a lot about what it was about.
It was a two... Okay, is that professor watching right now?
I passed. I mean, it was in college.
You passed because you Googled it.
I just was like, it was one of the 7 movies we had to watch in a week, and it just was too much.
There's a phrase that comes to mind. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater. Okay, here we go. Let's get started every day, buddy. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo. Okay, here we go. Big news for fans of Oprah Winfrey. Apple TV Plus, their little streaming service, will produce a 2-part documentary on her life. In the announcement, which just hit, I think last night, Apple says the project will chronicle 25 years of American history through Oprah's lens and will highlight how she rose from humble roots to become a billionaire, philanthropist, actress, media executive, and agent of social change. I'm exhausted. The documentary will be directed by Oscar winner Kevin McDonald. This and Serum's chicken wings are what's making me the happiest today.
What?
And I'll never watch Citizen Kane again. These three things are fueling my good mood today.
Oh.
Well, you know I love Oprah.
Yes.
And like Johnny Carson's Tonight Show was a book of popular culture in the latter half of the 20th century, Oprah Winfrey's show is a look at culture in the latter half of the 20th century and a little bit beyond, showing off the air in the early 2000s. But you can look at Oprah's show at any given year, and you can kind of guess what the culture was like. I mean, whether it was serious topics or popular culture. When the New Kids on the Block were big, who did Oprah have on? New Kids on the Block. J-Lo, Lady Gaga, more serious topics, the Oklahoma City bombing. She took her show there. It's just a great time capsule that we are lucky to have. So I cannot wait for this.
I think everyone will appreciate it. I remember my friend Emily Ketchum and I used to watch it every day after school before golf practice, then we'd be late for golf practice, which is how we never made the team. But that's a different story.
That's a whole different show.
It was all for Oprah.
Yeah.
But the team behind it, a couple of the people are the people behind Whitney.
Yep.
And so I think that anyone who's interested or sees that and likes it and then moves forward.
Yeah, I had such a different Oprah experience because here in Minneapolis and Minnesota, Oprah aired at 4 p.m., so you would watch it after school. In Chicago, it aired at 9 a.m.
Oh.
It would air, and if she did it live, it would air live, yeah. And she never moved from that time slot. So when I moved here, it was very odd to have Oprah at 4 o'clock.
Right.
I always watched her in the morning. And my mom is nodding her head right now. Next in the dish, Jennifer Coolidge, a.k.a. Stifler's mom, a.k.a. one of my favorite parts in Best in Show. We just love soup. Was on Watch What Happens Live and was asked if she would be interested in playing Kim Cattrall's character of Samantha on that Sex and the City reboot. Listen to her answer.
I was a huge, and still am a huge Sex and the City fan, and it's one of those shows you can just watch the reruns and never get tired of them. But I have to say, I am such a Kim Cattrall fan, and no, I don't see anyone being able to replace her in that part. I think she's just, I don't know if she's just so, I don't know, it was just the perfect three, I don't know, I don't think you can replace her. Yeah.
I have done so much thought, too much thought on this. But I have now, you can't. I would love Sharon Stone. I love Sharon Stone, but you shouldn't replace Samantha. Just let her be. Let it be.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Coolidge, no, because Jennifer was on Sex and the City. Yeah, her new movie, Promising Young Woman, is in theaters now and has a Rotten Tomatoes rating of 92%. I mean, that's Citizen Kane territory.
I know. Can we just have a moment to figure out why they called it Rotten Tomatoes? Why was that a name of something that was going to go over movies? I mean,
I think because back in the day, in like vaudeville days, you would throw tomatoes at entertainers you didn't like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why would they waste food? That's rude.
I don't know. Well, they didn't care about that back then.
Oh.
Could there, next on the dish, could there be a Desperate Housewives reboot? According to the Kathy Hilton fan club Twitter account.
What?
Not exactly the Washington Post, ladies and gentlemen. Basically that's Ted's website. A well-placed source at Hulu is saying they're in the final stages of a 10-episode Desperate Housewives revival. The tweet says Terry Hatcher, Eva Longoria, Marcia Cross, and Felicity Huffman are all expected to return. But throwing cold water on this scoop from Ted's secret website, Marcia Cross saw the tweet and responded like this, "News to me." So it's not happening. The Kathy Hilton fan club
Twitter?
and their well-placed source inside Hulu?
I'm like, what?
What?
Huh?
That's not even a sentence. The Kathy Hilton fan club Twitter page's well-placed source inside Hulu.
That's like a German word. You know, they have like really, really long words.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what
Farfennugan.
that is. It's just,
Remember
it's just
Farfennugan
like,
cars? But anyway. But no, it's not happening. And Marcia would know. She's Brie Vandekamp.
I know.
You can't have, you know, and again, we don't have time. We got to go to break. But my favorite behind-the-scenes stories originate from several shows, and one of them is Desperate Housewives, because of how much they all hated Terry Hatcher, which we will talk about in a little bit, because we have so much more to get to. So go get another cup of coffee, and we'll be back right after this. Back in a moment. Coming up, more Hot Dish. Don't you dare.
And so people call me like Miss H, people call me Hats.
Call Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway. Find out what the Devil Wears Prada star wants you to call her. Then, he's a man who can just make me belly laugh. Leslie Jordan talks about being popular in a horrible year. And the cooking mom is helping you spice up your date night menu. That's all coming up when The Jason Show continues.
And now I thought I'd share some of my favorite describe a TV show badly responses from you guys. This first one is from @Gum-Gummerson. Hey, we know Gum-Gummerson. He says, Game of Thrones, a complicated medieval drama where they also have Starbucks. Ice latte for Don Snow. Don Snow. So, sorry, Jon Snow? Thanks. This one's from Renee Jordan, 78. She says, The Queen's Gambit. Turns out drugs and alcohol make you smarter? This one's from @Elisa 096188818. She says, Bridgerton, a show you thought you could watch with your parents. It's like, this looks cute. This is, oh, well, cover your eyes. This one's from Brianne Buchanan. She says, The Bachelor, a former polygamist narrows it down.
Yep, basically. Hashtag Jimmy Fallon for our late night rewind. Oh, Bridgerton. Oh, Bridgerton.
The show you thought you could watch with the curtains open, but you can't.
You can't even, the closing of the eyes wouldn't even help. I would be, I'm 46 and I would be embarrassed to watch that with my mom.
I am not closing my eyes when that beautiful man is on screen.
No, I second that emotion. But I'm saying, but I could never, even if I wouldn't watch that show with my mom.
No.
I would be a little uncomfortable, especially that library scene.
Hello.
Late fees. Next on the dish, sad news for those of us who grew up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The widow of Fred Rogers has passed away. Joanne Rogers was married to Mr. Rogers for more than 50 years. Here she is actually with Fallon just a couple years ago. She became more well-known a few years ago when she was promoting the documentary about Mr. Rogers called Won't You Be My Neighbor? According to a statement from Fred Rogers Productions, Joanne was a brilliant and accomplished musician and an advocate for the arts. She really was. The couple married in 1952, and Fred died in 2003. She was 92 years old. Yeah, really sad. But if I don't often say stuff like this, but I sometimes think, when you're 92 and you've been with somebody since the 50s, I like to think it makes me feel better to think they're together. You know what I mean? She loved him so.
Right.
They had a beautiful, when you watch the documentary, you really see, they just had a really beautiful connection and a great marriage. And now they're together again.
Right. What a wonderful couple. The things he did for children and education and she's done for the arts. It's just like, to be like that is kind of goals in life, right?
And when the world goes through troubled times, it's a little bit of a cliche to say, "Oh, I wish this person was around. I wish this person was around." I really mean this. Boy, oh boy, could we use a little bit of Mr. Rogers right now, who I remember after 9/11 delivered just a beautiful message. He came back and did an episode. I think he had been retired and did an episode to try to explain to your kids about 9/11. I wish he could try to explain what's happening right now. Next in the dish, Leslie Jordan was on with Seth Meyers. He talked about how his Instagram was blowing up, how it did blow up during the pandemic. It really did. Look at this.
About 2 years ago, I was on a TV show called The Cool Kids, and the head of publicity would, at the time, would tell me, post, you know, that funny thing you said, post this. And I thought, I didn't know what she was talking about. I really didn't. I thought maybe she meant Post-its, those little yellow things. And so she said, no, you need to put that on Instagram. And then she looked at me, she said, you don't have an Instagram account, do you? And I said, no, ma'am, I don't. And so they opened me one, and within a week, I had 20,000 followers. When the stay-at-home orders happened and I didn't have anything to do, I was in Tennessee, I started posting twice a day, just silliness, just silly stuff. And my friend called from California. He said, you've gone viral. I said, no, honey, I'm in Tennessee with my mama. I'm fine. I don't have COVID. He said, no, you've gone viral on the internet. And now here we go. I don't know, 5.6 million. I have no idea.
I went viral. No, honey, I don't have the virus. Leslie stars, by the way, in another show now on Fox called Call Me Kat. Is it Kate? Kat? Call Me Kat. Leslie, I've said this many times. I get asked this a lot when we have a studio audience. Who's your favorite star? Who have you met? Leslie, I should always be on that list. Here we are several years ago. He was here in the studio, and he's a delight. He's been a guest on this show, and he's also been a guest on the radio show. And I'm not joking, Kendall and all of you watching. There has been no guest. Arsenio Hall came close, but there has been no guest that has made me belly laugh during a show like Leslie Jones. There's a little fun fact that I showed our producer, Jeff. In my radio studio, I have a saved interview of Leslie ready to go at any moment, like if there's a technical difficulty, because it was one of the funniest interviews. And I love him because he does these one-man shows. That's why he was here. He was promoting it. And he doesn't care. Like he has such great behind-the-scenes stories. He was on Will and Grace. He was in movies. He was on The Help. He was in one of my favorite shows, Desperate Housewives, what we just talked about. And he had the best dish about Housewives. And he kind of confirmed what we had heard, which was the ladies were all very much against Terry Hatcher. Eva Longoria, Marcia Cross, and Felicity Jailbird Huffman, they were very cliquey. And something happened. Leslie said something happened around season 4 or 5. He wouldn't say what. And James Denton, who played Mike Delfino, who lives, I think, down the road. We used to be friends, but then he stopped returning my text messages.
Wait, no, keep going.
Anyway,
don't get distracted.
Okay, James Denton confirmed that too. James obviously was very much on team Terry Hatcher.
Oh.
He said, yeah, the ladies were very mean to her. And then Leslie said basically the same thing. My feeling is the truth is in the middle. Terry had to do something to make the whole cast hate her. You know what I mean? That just doesn't happen.
Right.
3 people just randomly don't like you. I mean, something had to happen. But that show, had some drama, real drama.
Some skinny dishy.
Yeah. Next in the dish, Anne Hathaway has regrets. Not about a role or a movie she's done, but about her name.
When I was 14 years old, I did a commercial and I had to get my SAG card. And they asked me, what do you want your name to be? And I'm like, well, it should be my name. My name's Anne Hathaway. And I never, and so that seemed like the right choice, but it never occurred to me that for the rest of my life, people would call me Anne. The only person who ever calls me Anne is my mother, and she only does it when she's really mad at me, like really mad.
Yeah, I know.
And so every time like I step out in public and someone calls my name, I think they're going to yell at me. People are so lovely; they don't want to be presumptuous, and so they come up with workarounds on set because the truth is nobody's comfortable calling me Anne ever. It doesn't fit. It's not. I'm an Annie,
Yeah,
and so people call me like
call you
Miss
Annie.
H. People call me Hath. So feel free, call me anything but Anne.
I shall call you annoying.
Oh. Rude.
Annie stars in the new HBO Max movie called Lockdown. I go back and forth with her. I'm being snarky. That's my job. That's what I'm paid to do, to make you laugh at the expense of celebrities. I go back and forth with Annie Hathaway. But let me just be frank. This is what I think you're thinking. If you didn't want to be called Anne, why did you put Anne down on your SAG card?
Well, because she was probably a big rule follower like I would be at 14 years old, and I'd be like, this is my name, that's what I should say. My mom would tell me I should put my full name.
That's not my problem. That is not our problem. You know that name's going to stick with you. So if you don't want to be called Anne, don't put Anne down.
You don't know at 14. You don't know you're going to be like a mega bajillionaire movie star.
I knew at 6. I was on a rock doing shows for squirrels.
Well, thank God you have a great name, Jason.
I paid a lot for it. Let's go to the. I'm just kidding. Let's go to the audience here. Jared, are you an Annie Hathaway fan?
I mean, I enjoy her movies, but I'm not like a super fan or anything. I don't like follow her, so.
Okay, but doesn't this read a little pretentious, or am I looking? It just seems a little. I don't know. Am I wrong on that, Jared?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Renee, how about you? It just reads to me a little pretentious.
I've never really been a huge fan. I've seen a few of her movies,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's, you know what, and it's funny, I think people are divided. Thank you. We'll check back in with the folks in a minute. For whatever reason, and look, I don't really think much of her. She's fine. I don't dislike her. But people have a visceral reaction to her, and that's why this story is getting traction. People that don't like her really don't like her. I'm not in that camp. I just think this is a little annoying. But there is a whole.
It's true.
She triggers people. Polarizing. She's polarizing.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
For whatever reason, I don't know what that is. I love it. Devil Wears Prada. Hello, whenever it's on, I watch it.
Princess Diaries?
I've never seen it.
What?
Yeah, I've never seen it. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, good Lord, close the mouth, the moths are coming in. Look at you, you're like all, like me when you say that you haven't seen Beaches or Terms of Endearment. Next in the dish, could Chris Evans return as Captain America one more time? Rumors circulated yesterday that he was in talks to appear in an upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe film, or as we nerds call it, the MCU. This happened after it appeared this time in the role had come, well, it appeared his role had come to a conclusion with Avengers Endgame. Chris is not usually cagey when it comes to these things, but when he heard the rumors, he tweeted just what Marsha Cross tweeted. News to me. By the way, the first time he ever appeared in Captain America was 2011. This could go one or two ways. These Marvel folks are under such a tight contract that if they say anything, they could be sued. Like really, they could get into a lot of trouble. So maybe he's being cagey because this is a top secret. Because if he is coming back, that's a big thing. If you don't know the universe, it's a big thing if he comes back. Because the last time we saw him, hello, spoiler alert for a 2.5-year-old movie, he kind of wrapped up a story. That's all I'll say.
Did you like my face?
I know I didn't want to get. I don't want an email today. I am doing everything I can today to not get any type of critical email.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
No emails needed. Thank you.
Perfect. Still ahead. Need a new idea for date night? The Cooking Mom is back with an easy and delicious recipe for a night in with your loved one. That and more when we continue on this Friday morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back, superstars. We'll check in with our virtual audience a little bit later. Speaking of our audience at home, I was looking at social media. I guess people are freaking out over my tie. They don't quite know what this is. These are sunflowers. I
suppose it's far enough away.
It's far enough away, yeah. Sunflowers. Welcome back. In this new year, why not find a new book to read? Kendall and her mom are back with 3 new picks for January. Look.
Okay, we've got 3 books for this sort of start of the new year. And I'm going to go first this time. A little bit different for our, I guess, Suedo book club. I figured a lot of people are probably trying to do some self-help reading right now, right? I mean, new year, it's kind of a thing. So,
New year, new you.
Yeah, I went through a lot of the books that are newer right now that are getting talked about. I've read several self-help books, and for some reason, this one is just my favorite. So it's not new, but maybe it's one you've heard of that you were thinking about. It's called Girl Wash Your Face. It's by Rachel Hollis. This book has been around for a couple years, like I said. She was really big a blogger for a while. She was an event planner out in LA. And then she was a blogger and then eventually wrote these books, sort of inspiration books. What I really like about the way that she writes is the style she writes in. It's never too deep, never too introspective. You don't have to like overly think about what she's saying. She just kind of says it and speaks in a way that women like to speak to other women. Each chapter essentially starts out with, and of course I moved the page, what she calls the lie. So the thing that we think or we're taught to think growing up. For example, this one is loving him is enough for me. So it just talks about different things that have happened in her life and how it relates to really all of us. And then at the end of each chapter, she writes down different helpful hints and tips of things that helped her get over whatever that struggle is. And she talks about career, family, relationships, kind of everything. So I really like it. If you've read this one, her second book, Girl Stop Apologizing, also good. I actually like this first one better. So that's my tip. Mom, you've got 2 books. One's an adult book and one's a J book this month.
Correct. And I have the same type of thing where it's January, time to reflect on your life. And I don't really know anyone, including myself above all, that doesn't have regrets. And this first book is an adult book. It's called The Midnight Library. Of course, I love it. It's by Matt Haig. It's been called Impossibly Timely. So keeping that in mind, I think we all reflect on our life's choices and maybe sometimes think, what would have happened if I would have gone this way instead of that way? And we don't really know what the answer would be for that. So it's a cool concept, very similar to the movie Groundhog Day, which is one of my all-time favorites. So there is a place in this book between life and death, and it's called The Midnight Library. Every book on the endless shelves is your own personal journey, your own personal book about your life and what would have happened to you if you would have made different decisions. So our protagonist is named Nora. She is filled with regret. She feels like every choice she's ever made in her life was the wrong one, and she is now alone. Her parents have died. She doesn't like her job. Even her cat has died, and she feels like it's all her fault. Everyone she knows dislikes her. That's how she feels. She decides to end her life. Now, this might sound dark and dismal, but believe me, it is the least dark and dismal book I've probably ever read. She finds herself at the Midnight Library. Her librarian takes her on a journey, shows her all the books, starting with the Book of Regrets, which is a book full of every regret you've ever had and said maybe in your head 20 times a day. And she was overwhelmed by this, but the librarian says, don't be overwhelmed. What's your biggest regret? And so she starts to list and feel which regrets were the biggest, and she finds herself in a life, plopped right into a life in the current time if she would have made a different decision. She regrets not marrying this man. Boom. She's married to the man. They've been married for 3 years. She has no idea where she is. It's just fascinating.
Okay.
The other book I have is called A Home for Goddesses and Dogs. It's by one of my favorite authors, the award-winning Leslie Connor, who wrote the book we have talked about on the show, The Truth is Told by Mason Buttle. She's fabulous. Goodreads calls this a book about lost love and the world's best bad dog. If you're a dog owner, you probably have one of those dogs, the world's best bad dog. She's 13 years old. Her name is Lydia, and she knows way more about loss than any 13-year-old should probably know. Her dad walked out on her and her mother when she was only 6 years old, maybe 7. She now lives with her mother, and her mother's very ill, but they've got this art project that they do, they call The Goddesses. And they take all of the old pictures from their lives and form these collages and make them into these beautiful women that they call, like I said, the goddesses. Unfortunately, her mom does pass away, and she's left to go live with her Aunt Brat, who's her last living relative. And Aunt Brat is married to a very jovial woman named Eileen, and they live with this ancient landlord of theirs. His name is Elroy. Well, shortly after Lydia, is uprooted and goes to live in this new state, in this new little country house, they also adopt a giant yellow dog. Lydia is not a dog person. And then we go through these journeys with Lydia and this dog and secrets she's keeping from her new family. It's a book filled with strong female characters.
an adorable dog who doesn't love that, and a girl who needs all these people. And so it's about finding joy with your family. And I just think this is also a very uplifting book, a good way to start 2021. So I hope you read that book too.
Book club. Here's what I love. You are not needed in that segment.
No, she just like talks.
Sid doesn't care.
Yeah, no.
Sid is hosting the show now.
Yeah.
You
I
were,
just look at the clock.
Yeah, I love you, but you were just there.
Yeah, really.
You were there to facilitate Sid. I love that.
Hi, Mom. Welcome to the show.
Exactly. It was beautiful. Sid's like da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Do we have to take a break? We're good. Da-da-da-da. Sid was going, girl. I love it.
Ready.
If you missed any of the books from Sid's book club, let's be clear. We'll be posting these on our Facebook and YouTube pages. All you have to do is search for Jason Show TV. Your mom's like, bye. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. The Cooking Mom's coming up and more following these messages. Stay with us. Oh, Sid. Throwback on the old show. Friday throwback for you today. Today, on this day, 20 years ago, let that sink in. Beyonce and Destiny's Child had the #1 song in America with independent women. It spent 11 weeks at the top of the charts. Welcome back. Whew. I worked here. Oh, and I used that song in editing and woo. Anyway, as we kick off the new year this month, we're looking back at some songs you may not believe are 20 years old now. First up, this tune from Brit Brit. Right, get the snake, put it around your neck, because it's 20 years old, I'm a slave for you. Became one of Britney's signature songs, along with her memorable performance at the VMAs with that live snake. Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
I learned that dance from the choreographer that taught it.
Shut up.
At a convention. I don't remember it. It was a long time ago, but I remember all the weird like arm things.
Yeah.
So we were all like.
Well, this is the same era, and Jeff is going back to the archives for something we're working on. This is the year of my famous story when I interviewed Britney for Crossroads, her movie, and I fell backwards in front of her on the chair, and I looked like a turtle. Anyway, get this, Janet Jackson actually turned down that song before Britney recorded it. Yeah, sorry, Janet. That leads us to the third biggest song of 2001, turning 20 this year. Here it is. One's All For You, Jace. That's right. Janet Jackson scored a #1 hit with All For You. She recorded it right here in the Twin Cities at Flight Time Studios in Edina with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Still, I think this is my favorite era of Janet, and I still love this song.
I do.
Still love that song to this day.
And look at her.
Look at her. Look how good she looks. She still looks great, but look at that.
Yeah.
Queen. Queen right there. I love those moves. It's just a good video. Let's just watch this for the rest of the hour.
Yeah. Who needs that?
Alicia Keys had this. Thank you, Leo. Turn it up. Yeah, Leo's like, Janet's better than you. Believe me, I know that. Alicia Keys had the second biggest song of 2001 with her debut, Fallen. We would play it, but executive producer Jeff finds her annoying, and I do too, so don't.
You two are gonna get emails now. You do it to yourself.
I know. I know. I said I don't want any bad emails today. Don't ruin my weekend, but I'm sorry. I think her hosting the Grammys, I loved her until then, yeah. Now the #1 song of 2001. Any guesses? Look. Okay, I can't believe this, but it's Hanging by a Moment from Lifehouse. It was the debut song from the band, and despite never reaching #1, It was the top single of 2001. Did you like this?
I loved Lifehouse.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still around, but I really liked it.
I can't believe this was number one.
But I can, kind of.
Yeah. Really quick, 2001, can you guess what the number one show was? The number one TV show of 2001?
Desperate Housewives?
Or give me a top 10 show from 2001 that you think is in the top.
Was it Desperate Housewives? Or
No,
is
it
that too
debuted
early?
in 2004.
Friends.
You are right. The number one show in 2001 was Friends, followed by CSI, ER, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Law and Order. Those are the top 5 shows. The original Law and Order, not Law and Order Gary, Indiana, or whatever. There's been so many of them, but yeah. Still ahead, the Cooking Mom is here with date night ideas when we return. Back in a moment. And then there's 40 CSIs. Miami, Portland, Reno. Oh, Lifehouse. Number one song. Welcome back. By the way, I said these were sunflowers. Jeff corrected me. These are daisies. Again, hashtag no emails. We all had to get a little creative during the pandemic, especially when it comes to date nights. Our next guest has a recipe to spice things up. Because when I think of spicy, I think of that lady right there. Joining us now is the Cooking Mom, Amy Hatton. Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, thank you so much. It's just such a bummer not to be in studio, but so excited to be back on your show. And Jason, I'm totally with you. Like, today's Friday, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm like, wait, it's Friday. It's the weekend.
Thank you.
You know?
It's been the
You get it?
Yeah, it's been the longest week for whatever reason. So I'm happy to be spending Friday with you. Okay, so this is a recipe for at-home date night: shrimp fettuccine Alfredo.
That's my point. Yeah, that's my point. Is kind of like on the weekends, I try and do something special because we're not going out for steak and lobster to Manny's. Although I can't wait for that day again.
I know.
So it's fun to do something fun at home to make it feel like a weekend. Do something special. Turn on some music, light a fire in the fireplace, put some candles on, and make a fancy date night dinner. So shrimp fettuccine Alfredo. I think that's just always a winner, right? It's a classic, and you can't go wrong with that. It's just absolutely delicious. And my recipe is crazy easy to make at home, and everybody I make it for is like, this is the best ever. What I love about this recipe, Jason, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, but you don't have to do a roux and flour. It's not like a gloppity Alfredo sauce. It's just really simple and delicious. So I'm doing some shrimp. Now I picked up some uncooked, peeled, deveined shrimp, and I'm just sauteing it in a little bit of butter or olive oil and just keeping it really simple. You can also just, if you don't want to take the time, you can drop it in the Alfredo sauce. But make sure you get the uncooked shrimp, and I'm just kind of spreading it out in the skillet here.
I'm glad, Amy, Amy, I'm glad you said the uncooked, because I think you will agree. You do want everything to be easy, but there is a texture difference from when you get the pre-cooked from the uncooked, and it matters because you don't want mushy shrimp.
Totally, and I never buy pre-cooked shrimp because when was it cooked? What was it cooked in?
Seriously.
Even when I do like shrimp cocktail, which I got to make that on your show, I do like a copycat of Manny's, speaking of Manny's shrimp cocktail, and I beer boil it, and it just takes seconds. And then, it gives it just so much flavor. So never buy the pre-boiled shrimp.
No.
Not a good idea. So just really quickly, you're going to saute that up. And shrimp comes together. Like, I am trying to always keep things in my pantry, in my kitchen, in my fridge and freezer. Shrimp is one of those things that feels special. I just season it with a little garlic salt. But it's actually not that expensive, especially when you can buy like a 2-pound bag on sale and then just keep it in your freezer, pull out when you need it, just thaw it out really quick in the sink with some running water, and you're done. All right, for the sauce. So again, this is one of the most easy, delicious sauce recipes, and it's super simple and clean. So we're gonna start with a stick of butter. Don't be afraid. You know me, I love my butter. I do, but it's not like I'm eating this entire stick. If you're cooking for less people, you can cut this recipe in half. So we're keeping it real simple. 1 stick of butter, but again, this is gonna serve 4 to 6 people. And it's Alfredo sauce. I never buy pre-made Alfredo sauce. It's just not good. It just doesn't taste good.
No.
It really tastes kind of gluey. So wait till you see how simple this is. Now I'm gonna do some fresh garlic. I always feel like on a date night, or even if you're just doing a special dinner for, you and your mom. If 2 people are eating garlic, it cancels each other out. So I'm gonna do a couple cloves of garlic and just I'm chopping up fresh garlic. I will still love you if you use the John's garlic, which I'm just putting in my fridge. Sometimes I just don't have the energy to chop garlic. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm gonna add that garlic to the butter. You get it. It's like one more thing. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in 1 pint of heavy cream. So really simple. So basically we've got butter, garlic, and heavy cream. And we are just about at the finish line. I'm gonna hit it with some cracked black pepper. Now I toss together a big salad, pick up a loaf of garlic bread, or I've got some great recipes for homemade garlic bread. Make my chocolate mousse in the blender. I've got an amazing chocolate recipe. And call it a day. I mean, it's really simple. And I've got some fettuccine noodles. This is a pound of fettuccine that I'm just boiling over here. Don't overcook your pasta. That is one thing I learned. I hosted a culinary trip to Italy. Gosh, it seems like forever, but it was about 1.5 years ago before this all started. And we learned just cook that pasta al dente. Do not overcook your pasta. So, and also salt the water a little bit. So again, we're just about at the finish line. I know we're all getting hungry here. Once you don't really want this to boil, you just want to heat the cream.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on it. This is not the time to go do a little laundry or check your Facebook because it can really quickly go from heating to boiling and boiling over. The one other thing I'm going to add is I've got some green onions or parsley for a little bit of green just to get some color because Alfredo is kind of not so colorful. And then some good quality Parmesan cheese, and that's the last thing we're going to whisk in here. So this is about 1.5 cups. Basically, I do always have the green canister of Parmesan cheese in my fridge. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
But in this case, the better the quality of the Parmesan cheese, the better the sauce is going to be. So you can see it's not a real thick sauce, but as that Parmesan cheese kind of melts in there with the heavy cream and the butter, it's thick enough, and it's just super yummy. I'm about to flip my shrimp, and they're kind of getting there too, if you can see that. Don't overcook your shrimp. That's the other thing.
And then do you pour... And then you pour the sauce with the shrimp or right over the noodles, right over the fettuccine?
I do it right over the fettuccine, and then I put the shrimp right on top just for kind of a wow factor. And again, this is one of those things that just feels special. It feels like date night. It doesn't cost a bunch of money.
And it's easy. Super
it's
easy.
Really easy. You put the shrimp on top. We can do a little bit of the extra.
And there we go.
Shredded or grated Parmesan on top, and dive in. So. Happy weekend, everybody. Why not make something a little special this weekend?
Absolutely.
Wish I could give you this to try.
I know. This is the thing that I miss through the pandemic is not eating the Cooking Mom's food for lunch. She always makes me lunch. She gives me a little container. So I miss that.
Of course.
Well,
say hi to everybody. Miss you all.
We miss you. For more information, head to the Cooking Mom's website, thecookingmom.com, and look for her cookbook, The Cooking Mom Cooks Up Memories. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. That was good. Welcome back, everyone. Got the cutest. I can't show you because the camera will pick it up. But in that break right there, this delightful woman named Emily sent me an email. She goes, "We love watching you and forget the haters. Have a great weekend." She goes, and the title of the email, just in case you get a snarky email today, she has the cutest baby. Aww. This baby, Everly, by the way, that's an adorable name. And that baby, I want to just take that baby home.
Squish the cheeks.
And Lord knows I don't want a baby, but I want Everly. It's a cute baby. Stay connected, like Everly, to our show on social media. Just search for The Jason Show TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We're going to take a break. We'll be wrapping things up with a bubblegum goodbye and a goodbye to our audience next. Cute baby. Okay, wrapping up Friday. Positively Friday. Let's say goodbye to our audience once again. Give it up for our friends. There they are, Jared, Renee, and Val. Thank you guys so much for being in our audience. We greatly appreciate it. Have a good weekend, guys. Okay, it's time for a bubblegum goodbye. You ready there, Kendall?
No.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
I told you to pre-open it. Did I not tell them to pre-open it?
I know you did. Whatever. Don't
have a lot of time.
Don't make me tell the audience what happened during the break. Anyway, what is one skill you'd love to master?
I want to learn how to bake a 3-layer cake.
Oh, I would like to sing. And I can't sing.
Is that a skill or a talent?
Okay, I am done with you. I'm done with you. I'm done. Monday on the show, I'm done with Jeff. Monday on the show, Stephanie Hansen is back. She's hopping on the sourdough bread trend, helping us all get started baking bread at home. Go out there and be yourself because nobody, not even Kindle, can tell you you're doing it wrong. We'll see you Monday, everybody.